I'm Carol Angela Davis. Thank you so much for joining me today. Of course, this is your reality news check. It is December 28th, 2011. We're going to talk to you about Christmas. If you think the spirit of Christmas is lost, you haven't heard anything until you hear this. Oh, yeah, we'll tell you about it also today. No, he didn't, is all I can say. Mitt Romney compared Newt Gingrich to an episode of I Love Lucy. Yes, he did. Also today, American Congress is so greedy. We'll tell you about it. Plus, news of Dennis Kucinich and his latest plans. And then finally, a story of classic American elitist lack of concern and greed. That, folks, would be Sears. Okay, here we go. Let's begin. All I can say is seriously? Seriously? Check this out, folks. The priests got into a fight in front of tourists in Bethlehem at the Church of the Nativity, if you can believe that. The fight was between Greek Orthodox and Armenian clerics over a turf war in Bethlehem's Church of the Nativity. Folks, it was 100 priests. This is no small gathering. And we talk turf wars, folks. You think gangland style, but these are priests. Can you believe this? 100 priests fought with brooms while cleaning the church in preparation for the Orthodox Christmas, which happens on January 7th. Palestinian police armed with batons and shields had to break that mess up. Fortunately, the Palestinians were there to handle that mess, okay? Of course, the Church of the Nativity is, of course, as you know, built on the spot where Christians believe Jesus was born. That didn't stop them. It's just pathetic. No one was arrested because all of those involved were men of God, says Lieutenant Colonel Khaled Al-Tamimi. He is of the Bethlehem Police Force. Well, even so, the 1,700-year-old church, folks, is one of the holiest sites in Christianity, but it is also in a very bad state of repair. Why, folks? You want to know why? Largely because the priests can't agree on who should pay for its upkeep. These are priests. God, these people are pathetic. All right, let's turn to the United States of America in the national races here. The race for the presidency 2012, folks, is heating up, and of course, it is getting uglier, okay? Mitt Romney is now comparing Newt Gingrich to an I Love Lucy episode. Yes, he did, folks. It's all over Gingrich's inability to get on the Virginia ballot. You have to get 10,000 signatures to get on the ballot in Virginia, and Mitt Romney likened Gingrich's failure to do so to that I Love Lucy episode where Lucy can't keep up the pace while working on an increasingly fast chocolate candy assembly line. We love Lucy, so we can imagine how that went, okay? Romney was one of only 2 candidates to make it on the ballot. The other one, of course, was Ron Paul of Texas. He's the only other one to make it on the ballot. Now, as you might expect, the Republicans are griping now that their exclusionary elitist tactics have hit home, okay? Rick Santorum, he now says he was kicked off the ballot because the requirements were rigged in favor of the richest candidates. Well, guess what, Rick Santorum? Now you know what it feels like to live in America. How about that, Rick? Remember this, too. Eric Cantor, he's a Republican from Virginia. That is his state. He was the one, and he's very wealthy, and, of course, he has just been horrible. Eric Cantor states, and he probably had his hand in that dirty mess. He is, of course, someone who favors the rich. So, I mean, those claims that Santorum is making are probably correct. But Rick Santorum, guess what? You can't play the game, and then when it turns against you, you get banned. Sorry, folks. Why don't you make it fair for everybody, and then you don't have to worry about those kinds of things. All right. Because this is all playing out as the rich get richer. If you can believe this, the net worth of an average member of Congress has tripled in recent years, folks, while household income for regular old Americans has dropped. Today, a lawmaker's net worth is about 3 times what it was 25 years ago. That is the word from a study done by the University of Michigan. It found that between 1984 and 2009, a member of the House's net worth rose by over $400,000, while the average income for most Americans dropped by $100. They got nerve, okay? They got nerve. And guess what? Representative Michael McCall, he's a Republican from Texas. He is the top of the Hill's list. The Hill is a publication that talks about all the news and events that go on the Hill. They're saying that his net worth is about $287 million. He's the richest person there in Congress. Okay, combined, the 50 richest lawmakers reported a net worth of at least $1.6 billion, and we all know they're not declaring all their wealth. That's an increase of $200 million, folks, from just a year ago. They made $200 million in the last year, the members of Congress, and your income dropped. Get those wealthy people out of Congress. Go to the ballot and vote them out. They can't represent our interests. They just can't. They can't. They've been in it too long. They can't do it. In state and local races, Representative Dennis Kucinich, a Democrat from Ohio, he's going to run against fellow Democrat Representative Marcy Kaptur. That's going to happen next year. Those two, of course, they were thrown into one district after redistricting, and Ohio lost 2 seats. Now, the new district contains the Cleveland constituent base of Dennis Kucinich and the Toledo base of Marcy Kaptur. Now, you should also know that Marcy Kaptur is the longest running female in the House. You know Dennis Kucinich, she's going to get here, so forget about the fact that we need that woman there. The winner of the Kucinich-Kaptur election, though, guess what? They're going to probably face Samuel Joseph Wurzelbacher. You remember him. He's a Republican. Remember him? He is better known as Joe the Plumber, so there'll be no contest there, because anybody who votes for him, you deserve everything you get. All right, in business news, here's a classic case of wealth gone awry here in the United States. We're talking Sears, folks. Sears Holdings says they're going to close between 100 and 120 stores nationally after poor holiday sales. Do I look stupid? We all know that poor holiday sales did not make this decision. They've been mulling this over for quite some time, okay? Sears is classic, folks. Bait and switch, lack of respect, self-absorbed, no care or concern for the workers who work there and need those incomes, no care or concern for the shoppers who shop there for many, many, many years, generations in some cases. Just, oops. We're losing money. And this guy, remember, the guy Eddie Lampert, he's the hedge fund manager, which should tell you enough, all you need to know about him. He's the guy who bought Sears. He's a billionaire. So he's doing fine, as usual. Now, how could Sears dare to make such an announcement less than 2 weeks after Illinois Governor Pat Quinn signed a law guaranteeing Sears $15 million in tax breaks? Why did Pat Quinn do that? Because for months and months prior to that, Sears was threatening to take that company out of the Chicago metro area. So he had to do something. So he goes and gives them $15 million in tax breaks, saves Sears from leaving Hoffman Estates, a suburb of Illinois, and less than 2 weeks later, Sears says, we're going to close 100 stores, so you know how many people are going to lose their jobs. Okay, well, Illinois Senator Ira Silverstein, here's what he says. He says he feels betrayed by Sears. I'll say. He says company officials need to explain whether they knew about the potential store closings when lawmakers were considering the tax breaks. We know that they did, and those tax breaks should be rescinded. Okay, they should be rescinded. It is a classic American business of the post-Bush greedy era. Among the 500 companies that make up the Standard & Poor's 500, you should know that Sears shares are the 6th worst performer year to date. They are down 55%. But Eddie Lampert, again, the guy who bought Sears, he's the hedge fund operator, and since he bought it, the company has been dying a slow death. You can bet that Eddie Lampert, the billionaire, hadn't lost a dime personally. Not a dime, folks. Sears was one of the most successful U.S. retailers at one time, with a history going back to 1886. He took that iconic retail operation, he brought it down, he sucked the lifeblood out of it, he sucked the money out of it. Now he's going to close 120 stores. He personally hasn't lost anything. All those families are going to lose their income. People are going to lose their health insurance. And they're going to have to go on the unemployment line, and he doesn't care. You know, neighborhoods are going to lose their stores, and he just doesn't care. All he cares about, folks, is the good old American greenback, the dollar, and therein lies the problem. Stay on your members of Congress. We have to make them accountable. The rich can clearly not serve our interests in Congress. They have to go, folks. We have got to vote hard, vote heavy, folks. Those are your stories. I'll see you on Friday for a new broadcast. Have yourself a wonderful day. I'm Carol Angela Davis. This is your Reality News Check. Follow me on Twitter at Carol Angela D. Have a wonderful day.